Are you looking for an amazing destination to retire, semi-retire, or maybe buy a vacation home? Well, stay tuned because this video may be for you.
I'm Laura.
I'm Carlos, and this is our channel, Our Journey on Pico Island. The reason for this channel is to promote Pico Island, which we have been doing for the last 3 years. I was born here. Laura came first time 12 years ago, and ever since we've been sharing our experience here on Pico Island. Some of the experiences we shared was buying a home, renovating a home, setting up a tourism business, and much more. And we also did a workshop.
So, before we get into more information on the workshop, some of you may not know where the Azores is.
The Azores is located in the North Atlantic. It's one of the 7 regions of Portugal. You're about 5.5 hours flight, let's say from Toronto, 4.5 from Boston, 2 hours from mainland Portugal, let's say Lisbon, very close to the rest of Europe. So logistically, you're in actually a very, very good location.
Why are people choosing the Azores? It's subtropical, it's connected by a lot of nature, it's peaceful, tranquil, and low cost of living.
High quality of life, great people,
Family orientated, and abundance of culture.
abundance of course, yes. To sum it all up, the Azores checks most of the boxes. There's no better way to put this. It really does. I mean, we've been here for quite a while, spending a lot of time. We're in contact regularly with people that are now living here, like some expats or immigrants coming back. The consensus is that it checks most of the boxes. There's no perfect location or destination, but I would say that there's not too many places left on the planet like the Azores. I've been in the travel business for over 35 years, traveled a lot, and it's a very unique piece of the planet.
Back in May 2023, our travel partner, Life Wellness Azores, and ourselves put on an on-location workshop. It was over a 10-day period on 3 of the 9 islands in the Azores: Fayal, São Jorge, and Pico.
This was a workshop that we ran just over a week ago, and it was focused on the Triangle Islands of São Jorge, Pico, and Fayal. And we covered a number of topics that would be of interest for anyone looking to move or is considering Portugal, and more specifically the Azores, and even more specifically the Triangle Islands of Pico, Fayal, and São Jorge. From a real estate perspective, for retirement, for residency, and also if you're considering to work remotely. So we had participants from Germany, from Austria, and from the United States. A whole, a breadth of backgrounds and interests. And we provided a quite intensive and in-depth workshop with a number of professionals and presenters and real estate experts, and even individuals who did construction and renovations. And we did this workshop as a collaboration between Life Wellness Azores and Carlos and Laura and their channel on YouTube, Our Journey on Pico Island. And so they actually put out a video recently, part 1 of a behind the scenes look at the actual workshop. So you'll get a really good feeling and feel of some of the things that we did as part of the workshop.
In the workshop, we had amazing professional speakers sharing vital information. We had real estate agents.
So move-in ready, I always say that's of course the easiest way to move. Buy a nice house, move in, put the furniture in, done. Well, one of the most important things why I always like them is because you don't have all this licensing. When you want to move here and you have to drag yourself through all these licensing procedures, that is just terrible. And also, if you want to rent out, for example, you want to have a big place with lots of room, you want to rent them out. You want to make money, you're going to invest your money in that, and it shouldn't take 3 years before you start making your first buck. So that is the reason why some people rather buy something that's not entirely what they want, but at least can make money right away, and they can move in right away. Less stress. You're still going to need your contract because you're going to change stuff and stuff. But it's less stressful. I mean, a construction project as a whole is always stressful. There's no easy way of doing it.
So welcome everyone. We're here for the second part of today's presentation. We have Magda Leal. She lives in continental Portugal, but also spends a lot of her time here on Pico, and she considers herself a Picaros, which is someone local from the island. So I will let her go through her bio, but just very briefly, she's, in addition to being in real estate, fill in all the details. I'm just giving very high level engineer and a designer and real estate. So a couple of components that I think are very complementary to this. So as you're going through, we'll look forward to more details on that. I'm going to turn it over to you and let you walk us through mainly some of the properties and things that you have here on Pico, and maybe touch on Portugal, continental Portugal, a little bit, high level.
High level.
Helen,
Okay.
over to you.
I will focus on Pico. Okay. First of all, thank you, Egidio, for inviting me. For me, it's a little challenge to know you and speak all day in English, but we'll see how it's going to be. So, Pico Island for me is a passion island. Okay. Everything, I don't born here. I come to Pico when I was 7, 1979. So with my parents, and I'm in love of the island since then.
Hi everyone, this is Egidio Nascimento. I'm here today with Luise Fan. This is day 8 of the workshop. Day 8 was a visit to São Jorge Island, and unfortunately the video that we recorded on site, we had an issue with the audio portion of it. So Luise was kind enough to come back online with me, and we're going to go through the material that was presented to the participants and focusing on São Jorge Island. And then after the presentation, we actually spent the rest of the day driving around the island of São Jorge. So Luise Fan is with Remax. It's one of the largest real estate companies in the world. It's a global company. It has over 8,000 offices, and I'm sure it's a brand that you've recognized wherever you are in the world. And Luise, today you're going to take us through a couple of things here, including your team, service providers, things that we should know about São Jorge, why buy move-in ready, old, or build, start from scratch with a property. And so you're going to give us some words of wisdom. But before we do that, maybe we could just take a couple of seconds on yourself. And so how long have you been with Remax, and why do you get up in the morning every day? What's your goal?
Hello. Well, my goal every morning is basically to make a client or a family happy. And for that is to find their property, dream property.
So we had bankers.
Good morning. My name is Hugo Cardoso. I live just down the road here. So if you want to go for a coffee later in the day, I'm the bank manager at Santander here in Luise Pico. I'm not very good at English, so bear with me. But it's a simple presentation of probably the few things that could interest you. Not particularly in Santander, some of there are, but if you eventually come to live here, information that will be useful more on the banking side. So let's start. Okay. Santander is one of the largest banks in Europe, so it's probably the commercial banks, non-investment banks, is probably the third or fourth largest in Europe. It has branches in many countries, not also in Europe, in the USA, South America, Mexico, Brazil, Asia. So it's a really large bank.
We had professional speakers talking about insurance. We had accounting.
We've got, I think, a very interesting and special presentation. It's regarding a subject matter, tax, of course. And it's not just because I'm an accountant that I think this is an interesting subject. I think for you, it's going to be one of the top 3 things that you're going to want to pay attention to. And as I was mentioning to Carlos and Laura this morning, this session alone and handling this properly could more than cover the cost of this trip. Just making sure that you're doing this part correctly and having the proper tax and accounting advice as you're looking to, whatever your retirement plans, if that is it, or investment property or working remotely. So this also to give our presenter today an idea of the individuals that are here and the nature of what they might be looking to do here in Portugal. So I'm going to bring them on here. They're in the green room. We're going to bring them out of the green room.
Hello.
And so we have,
Hello.
hello, Ricardo, can you hear us?
Yes, perfectly.
Excellent. And
Can
we
you
can
hear
hear
me
you.
okay?
Test one complete. Yes, very good. So I'm going to introduce him, and then he will introduce Joanna as well, and then he'll take you through the presentation. Over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Ricardo. I created All Finance Matters 10 years ago. It's an accountancy practice based in the Algarve. We have a team of 37 people, and mostly we deal with expats living in Portugal from different parts of the world. So not only in the Algarve, we have clients in Azores, and hopefully we will have more after this session. Today, Joanna is watching this. She's my assistant. She works closely with me, and normally Joanna is the person that handles most of the inquiries that we receive in our company. Joanna, do you want to say hello?
Hi, hi, hello.
Joanna prefers to be
In the
on
background.
in the green room. So, as I was explaining, we deal with many inquiries from clients from different parts of the world. Over the last 4 years, we had a lot of clients coming from places like the States and Canada, which I believe that's where most of you are from. Um, and I don't blame you. I mean, the Azores, for instance, is one of the best places in the world to be. So I would also like to live there. So um, today we're going to talk about the tax obligations when you move to Portugal. I don't know if all of you are intending to move to Portugal, and I don't know exactly what are the stages that you are at in the process. But at the end, we can have a question and answer session, and I'm happy to answer any specific questions that you may have.
We had lawyers.
It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. This is something that I'm starting, well, that I'm trying to do for the first time. I tried to gather some information that might be useful if you ever decide to join us, which I hope it will happen. I'm going to keep it simple because, of course, this will be a general idea of everything. But if you do decide to move in, you should always see your particular situation, because the fact that you're from the US or you're from Germany or you're from Albany, all of these things might make a change. If you're coming alone or if you're coming with your family, also that changes. So this is just to give you a general insight of what might happen. I start from the beginning to make this difference because European Union gives you the right, if you're a citizen from one of the countries, it gives you automatically the right to go around all the Schengen space. And so therefore, if you're coming in even for vacation, you don't need any particular visa to get in or to get out, and you don't need to report it to no one. If you're a citizen from outside of European Union on vacation, this report needs to be done. If you're coming through an airport, this is usually already done at the airport. They already have this information. But if you're coming, for instance, by boat or somewhere that you don't have any border control, then it's up to you to make this communication to our government. If we're staying at the hotel or any of those bed and breakfasts, they are the ones that have this obligation. So usually you will be handed with a paper to fill in your basic information. And basically they want to know if you're leaving. This is to know where you are, who you are, what's your identification, and how long you're planning to stay. If you do decide, thank you very much, that you want to live here, I don't actually think we are, let's put it this way, picky or complicated. There is bureaucracy, but I do believe that Portugal is a welcome country. Basically, to sum it up, if you have the possibility to provide for yourself, you're welcome in this country. So what the government is trying to avoid is the situations where they will have to be supporting people who arrive, which is already complicated for the ones who live here. If you can prove that you can provide for yourself and your family, it's just a matter of bureaucracy.
Business speakers.
So, Roberto, I have a wonderful wife, 2 kids, a Portuguese water dog we were just talking about, and moved to California in '98. And as I usually tell my friends, it was 20 years, 1 month, and 1 day. Not that I didn't love California, I really do love California, but the thought was always to return to Pico. I was born here, and I love this place. Always loved this place. And it was hard being outside and kind of seeing this develop without me. So 5 years ago, we packed up everything, including the water dog, and moved across the Atlantic to Pico. My career in the Valley was, tech, a lot of it there. So I did a couple years at WebEx, which was then acquired by Cisco. I think around the $3-something billion deal. Then after 2 years of integrating WebEx into Cisco, moved over to Skype as they were spinning off from eBay. And then we ended up selling Skype over to Microsoft for about $8.5 billion. I stayed another 2 years doing the integration there, and then Jive and User Zoom. And while I was doing all of this, spent some time helping out folks at 500 Startups, which is a very large startup incubator, venture capital funding organization. And why the Azores? Really because I was born here, and I love the place, and you're starting to get a sense for what it is. But also strategically for companies and people who want to look at the Azores as a future investment or a future place to live. We're really about 4.5, 5 hours away from the east coast of Canada and North America, Canada, United States, and we're 2.5 hours away from Lisbon, so doorway to Europe, and not far from the United States. Perfect location. From a work perspective, it's a great time zone. We have most of our clients from our company. I'll tell you a little bit about some of them. On the marketing side, are from California, so it's a great time zone to be able to do work here. They wake up there, the work is there, and they're in box waiting for them to start their day. And then in Europe as well, we're about 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours time zone away. So it works really, really well. Why the Azores? Beautiful. It's just green all year long. You can sit on the coast and have these breathtaking views. You don't really have to look hard to find something beautiful to look at. You're immersed in nature. People are innovative, and they are super friendly. I hope you've already kind of sensed that as well, and welcoming. They're resilient. The Azores went through some tough times in its history. My mother growing here, she had her first pair of shoes when she was 14 years old. They used to, back in those years, they used to eat meat once a year. We're talking about 60 years ago. So things have evolved and grown significantly. And then one of the best things about, I think, the Azoreans is they're optimistic. We get storms, we get earthquakes, we get all the stuff that nature throws at us, but everybody around you is always optimistic and usually happy. That makes a difference in your day-to-day. We created Azores X about 3 years ago. Our core values are around creating value, so that's where the marketing side comes in. We believe that the Azores and all Azorean products and services have to be of great value because we're in the middle of the Atlantic. So if you ship something, it has to be a value-added product, or else you won't even be able to pay for your shipping costs. Sustainability. If we don't keep it that beautiful and that green as you saw and as you're seeing, we're not going to have this that really makes it unique in the world. As you go around the islands, you'll see, especially in Pico, because large geographically, and there's only about 14,000-ish people. So you'll see so much nature, so much unspoiled nature. We want to be able to do that. And then our other core value is we wanted to do things that would have a positive impact on culture and society.
We even had expats that are now here living. Like we actually, instead of expat friend of ours, this is about a place. So a lot of people are now here on Pico or other islands of the Azores. So
We are so excited to introduce Wayne. Wayne, come on up. Thank you so much for joining our workshop. And I'm going to leave you to it because we have a lot to share. And
Sure. You too. Okay, how is everyone this morning?
Awesome.
Good. So my name is Wayne Parks, and like Laura said, I live here with my partner, Chris, and we lived here for about a year and 6 months. What I'm going to talk to you about today is a lot of the practical things that you maybe need to know when you're here, and how, like, all sorts of subjects. And these are more like after you get here, but a little bit first about the process of getting here and transitioning from either your country of origin to living in the Azores. Okay, so I'll begin. This is just a table of contents. We're going to talk about myself, of course, facets of Azorian life, home life, commercial life, elements of local culture, and then a little bit about government entities and transition to the Azores.
we had an amazing group. We had 6 participants. Our goal was to have anywhere between 6 and 10. We had 6. And it was amazing. These people already knew, they were already doing some of their own research. And through the channel, they knew that they discovered a new area here. Some people never heard of the Azores, some never heard of Pico Island. And then they decided to invest in coming into the workshop. And let me tell you, it was amazing. There were other participants that wanted to come. It just didn't work out. We might have one in the future, but this is why we felt it was very important to have this e-workshop. We knew that there was potential, and if people were interested, we would put the e-workshop together, and this is what we're doing with this. But this group was just amazing. Some of them actually are still looking. They're getting closer. I know one that is very close to buying a property. We know another participant that already bought, okay, on one of the islands, actually St. George. And I think it's amazing. And the back and forth that we've had with them, it's all positive as far as the workshop itself and their experience looking and wanting to be here on the islands. The feedback from the participants on the workshop, during the workshop, post-workshop, very positive. And we had a survey, and we had to ask them, and we needed them to be honest with us and positive. And they would recommend the workshop to friends or family.
If you are seriously considering coming to the Azores, retiring, semi-retiring, then you really should get this e-workshop because it's invaluable. It will save you a lot of time and a lot of research. So click the link in the description for pricing and more information.
And meanwhile, while you're considering, don't forget to watch our videos. If this is the first time you're watching one of our videos, I hope you like the video, subscribe, share, comment.
And don't forget to hit the notification bell.
All right. See you on
Ciao,
the next
guys.
one. Ciao. More.
Testing, 1, 2, 1,
Okay.
2.
How was dinner, everybody?
Awesome.